folks, apparently for most of the last year, since July, one of the members of Congress has been missing, and no one has known what happened to her since July. And somehow this wasn't like national news constantly that, oh yeah, a member of Congress is just gone, right? And she's a member of the GOP. And so she's been like occasionally over the past year carted out to vote for things, but then starting in July, just radio silence. And apparently, thanks guys, spoiling in chat. Come on, we're getting there. You guys don't have to present the answer as if I'm just like, what do you guys think happened? I know what happened. We're doing a thing. I know where to find. Yeah, there you go. You guys, you little goofy goobers. Yeah, it turns out that she has in fact been living in an assisted living facility because her mind is going. Yeah, she is retiring, so that's good, but maybe we shouldn't wait until someone's mind is completely mush before they leave. Yeah, she's been living at Tradition Senior Living in Fort Worth, Texas. And also, you know, the family kind of disputes that it's not in a memory care facility, but just throwing this out there, I don't think that she's spry enough to be in Congress or mentally acute enough to be in Congress if she can't even make it to Congress since July. That's a long time, guys. Matt at Yahoo.
My goofy goober incite chat rent.
Thank you for the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. I very much appreciate it. Why is she still serving while living in an old folks home? Look, people in old folks homes can serve, okay? Like, let's not get it twisted, all right? They be fucking each other all the time in there, all right? Let's not. No need to throw shade on people living in senior facilities. But I will say that Ken Klippenstein has actually been doing some pretty great, you know, reporting, you know, as a reporter is supposed to do. And the other day, tracked down that apparently she transferred her home deed in July. She's 81 years old. Incredulous that something so outrageous could be real, I decided to investigate and found a corroborating detail. Granger appears to have transferred the deed to her home over 5 months ago on July 9th. According to property records I obtained, her congressional website shows that Granger's last vote was that same month on July 24th. The records, labeled a general warranty deed, do not make clear what amount of money, if any, was paid for the property, aside from a standard $10 fee. Granger had purchased the home for $440,000. Another property record dated October 22nd, of 2014 shows. While it's possible the property was transferred to family, the document lists as guarantees the retired 2-star Army General William F. Garrison and his wife, Diane Stone. Garrison, a veteran of the Vietnam War, where he participated in the infamous Phoenix program, spent his career in special operations, including the Joint Special Operation Command's highly secret intelligence support activity. Garrison and Stone did not immediately respond to requests for comment. So, like, something really weird is going on here, and I think we need to have more conversations about the fact that, like, there are huge political machines that put these politicians in power. And just because their bodies, like the politicians' bodies...
By to pay my silly duck tax.
Very knifey duck. Thank you for the $10 dono, you silly little duck. But just because like the bodies of these politicians begin failing doesn't mean that these machines don't want to wring every last ounce of value out of their investment, right? And so there is this tendency for like support staff to prop up these political figures, much like the people around Joe Biden did for him. They're like, well, he's incapable of being in front of people for long periods of time, so let's hide him. Starting back in 2019, and on top of that, you have like you have Dianne Feinstein. You've got countless examples of this in Congress, and a lot of it is also because if that politician is ousted from office, all of the people around them lose their jobs. And so there is like this huge almost systemic reason to kind of prop these people up, in addition to like the corporate interests that have invested into them. And yeah, I mean, like another example of it is how the system within the DNC propped up what's his face, Jerry Connolly, 74, with dying of throat cancer, over like the Hope and Change candidate of AOC. So like there's a lot going on here, but on top of it, I find it fascinating that this story has been out in the wild now for almost a week from Ken Klippenstein, and I haven't heard any kind of follow-up on it. Like, why is there an Army general guarantee on the deed transfer from her property, and there's no like listed bill of sale, and it seems to have been transferred for like $10? And I understand it's the House Oversight Committee, Super Jet Guy. I wasn't trying to imply AOC lost the election for anything else. So, like, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. Like the fact that she got moved to an assisted living facility. There is debate over whether it's a memory care facility or whether it's just a normal assisted living facility. But even if it is an assisted living facility, one would think that there would be an assisted living facility in Washington, D.C. where she could continue to do her job and not back in Texas. So like, and then there's this deed transfer, which isn't apparently guaranteed by the family, and is instead by a general.
Sorry to interrupt such a serious topic. Is there any chance you could call me a silly muffin? I can clip it and send it to my girlfriend. It will make me her smile, heart.
Aw, well, media breakdown, you are a silly muffin. There you go. Hope that helps your partner smile. And thank you for the $10 super chat. I very much appreciate it. But yeah, there's just some weirdness here. And here's a clip. Here's a clip of her speaking back in March before she disappeared.
Progress and how we fund the government. We drafted the most conservative bills in history. Members submitted over 1,000 amendments. We considered House bills individually on the floor, and we avoided a massive omnibus measure. In total, we increased defense funding and made target cuts. We also maintained our legacy under my colleagues on the other side of the aisle want to remove. Overall, this bill honors our commitment to our veterans, strengthens our energy security, hold agencies accountable, support our farmers and ranchers, and makes our transportation system safer. I urge my colleagues to support this bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady from Texas reserves. Gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe we shouldn't have this as part of our system. And now hopefully, who knows where this goes, right? Um but hopefully this means that uh, hopefully let me put it this way. In Congress, the House is precariously balanced as it is. Hopefully this helps in some way. And yeah, it might be small, might be big, who knows. Um but yeah, maybe we shouldn't have someone like who can't stand up there and speak, and who is very clearly like out of touch with like the vast majority of Americans, be one of the people who leads the country, you know? It's honestly so crazy to me. How sad is it she didn't have a retirement to enjoy because she started to have these issues, right? Like, just I don't know, like maybe I've been skeptical of like term limits or like age caps, but like honestly, maybe we need to have something like that because this has been a recurring problem for a while. Like I'm in favor, term limits seem like a good idea. Maybe a soft age limit seems like a good idea. Um Cognitive testing for members of Congress every 5 years. Honestly, that doesn't seem that I prior to learning how many members of Congress are taking like Alzheimer's medications or, dementia medications, um I would have maybe been against that, but like there's a lot going on in Congress that is worrying when it comes to cognitive abilities. Yeah, and there is a difference between living in a senior facility and living in a memory care facility. I understand that. My grandmother is like 99 years old and is still in an independent senior living facility. Um but she's not in a memory care unit. Like she can still like go out and goes places and does things, and she's still quite spry. But at the point where you can't physically be in Washington D.C. because of your health, like you shouldn't be allowed to be in office, you know? Like the issue here is that while they say she's not in a memory care facility, they do say she's dealing with dementia, and it's clearly bad enough that she can no longer be in Washington D.C. To do her job, and yet she's allowed to continue doing her job. How many of you would be able to just be like, I'm not going to show up for work for the next 5 months and still be in your position and have no one come looking for you? Like all of this seems bizarre to me, frankly. I was gonna say STD rate is fairly high in old folks' homes. It's true. It's true. All right. It all just seems so bizarre to me that we allow this system to perpetuate. It seems bad. Maybe we should change that. Maybe we should get involved in our local Dems and our local DSA and move up the ranks until we can enact the change ourselves. Maybe we should do that. It seems like a good idea. I don't know. Just a thought. Also, this camera is giving me so much guff today.